Hi everybody, it's Lorraine Murray here from Connected Kids. As you can see, I'm getting in the festive spirit with a little bit of tinsel. I did promise that I would record a chocolate meditation because at this time of year, well, we do eat a lot of chocolate and a lot of biscuits and cookies and all sorts of wonderful things that we probably don't eat quite so much of at other times of the year. So I'm going to talk you through how to do a meditation with your kids actually using chocolate, okay? Because I know we can use raisins and fruit and lots of other things, but this is Christmas, so just to help you with that. So the first thing to do is obviously get some chocolate. I've got my little piece of chocolate here, and you know that it's difficult for different ages of children to have what's called self-regulation. So before you even give them the chocolate, you may want to just explain to them what it is that you're going to do. You're going to teach them how to eat this mindfully. And you're wanting them to explore all the different senses that they have as well. So as well as the sense of taste, of course, there's a sense of smell, there's a sense of touch, and believe it or not, there's a sense of sound. And they can obviously see what the chocolate or whatever they're eating looks like as well. If they don't like chocolate, replace it with something else sweet that they like, okay? So you would prepare just as you would for any kind of other meditation if you can. If you're sitting at the dinner table and this is something you want to do in just the space of a minute or 30 seconds or however long their attention span can last for, then that's totally fine as well. So the first thing you do is you kind of get your chocolate and you look at it and you take in the shape and the size of it, okay? So I hope you're practicing with me as I do this so you can then help your children and guide them through that. So you're kind of looking at the shape of it, you're just taking in different colours, and it might get a little bit tacky, a little bit sticky under your fingers. That's okay, so don't worry about that. You're just taking in whatever you can see. I've suddenly started to notice a little crack in my chocolate, and you know, it's really smooth, but there's two different colours, of course. So just paying attention to that as much as you can. And as you're doing that, just maybe ask them to check in with their breath. So as you're doing that, just notice your breath. Now, hopefully you've guided your children to notice their breath before, otherwise that will mean nothing to them. So if you can, if you're working with them on that, that's great. If not, get them to just breathe in and breathe out, okay? So they can do this looking at it whilst they take a nice deep breath. And then you want to ask them to lift it up to their nose and smell it, but not eating it at this stage. And all of a sudden you might notice, wow, that really smells quite strong. And maybe they'll start to notice like even saliva in their mouth because your body starts to prepare for the act of eating. So they might notice that. So you just invite them to notice that. And maybe noticing what else they feel in their body. So maybe they get a little bit excited, so there's a sensation in their body that they notice, okay? Maybe they start to smile, they realize that they're smiling because in anticipation of the fact they're going to get to eat this. Okay, and then get them to close their eyes and do the same thing, just smell the chocolate. And it can really intensify the smell when you close your eyes. Okay, so if they can, not eating the whole chocolate at once, or maybe they are, depends on how big the piece of chocolate is or how many bits of chocolate you've got. So then you want to bite into the chocolate. It's going to be a bit tricky for me to speak and eat the chocolate at the same time, but I'll do my best. And as you're getting them to try the chocolate, get them to pay attention to the sounds that they have as they bite into it and also the sound they make as they're eating it. Obviously there's this sensation of taste going all around their tongue. Get them to close their eyes as they're doing that. If it's chocolate, see how long you can keep it in their mouth as it melts. If they want to make a noise like a that's fine too. Okay, and then get them to do the same thing with their next piece of chocolate, but this time as they're doing that, as well as the sensations, you can, or even before they put it in their mouth, you can get them to think about everything that went into creating this piece of chocolate. You can close their eyes for a moment and just imagine all the milk that came from the cows who ate the grass or the feeds that they were given, and the field that they were in, and how they were, looked after. You can get them to think about the sugar and the sugar canes, the plants that made the sugar, and all the connection between these plants and the ground. So they were absorbing all the moisture from the rain, and they were absorbing all the energy from the sun to help these sugar canes grow, and then they were cut down so that they could be ground into sugar and put into the chocolate. And then you've got the cocoa beans, which are another plant that was put together, that was grown and was connected to the earth and was absorbing sunshine and rain. And again, just helping them to imagine what that was like for these plants, and then how it was all mixed together. And then you can invite them, and they can be eating the chocolate at this point, if it's back in their mouth. And you can invite them to imagine all the people who were involved in helping to create the piece of chocolate, to make it, to shape it, and all the machines involved, and then how it was packaged up and then transported maybe thousands of miles until it got into your home or wherever you're teaching them, and then they were able to have this piece of chocolate in their hand. So what you're doing is you're kind of giving them the opportunity to tune into the mindfulness of their senses, as well as using a little bit of their imagination and really appreciating where the effort and the energy and the earth itself that went into creating this little piece of chocolate that they are eating. And the same can be done with other pieces of food as well, like a cookie or a biscuit. Biscuit is in Scotland we use the word biscuit for cookie. And so if you are using a cookie, it's much louder than a piece of chocolate. It really sounds like a volcano going off in your ears. It's really, really strong. So I hope this has given you a few ideas of how you can help your children eat their chocolate more mindfully and be aware of how they interact with it. And the other thing you can do, I just remembered, is that once it's in their body, you can get them to pay attention, to how it moves into their body. So it goes into their mouth and it travels down through their throat, and then it starts to go down into this part of their body, into their tummy, and then their body's so clever, it's going to take everything it needs from the chocolate, like the energy and the milk that you mentioned before, and it's going to put it into their body and spread it around so that every part of their body receives a little bit of this chocolate, and then the bits that your body doesn't need, it'll let go of, just like we let go of our out breath. So you've got these 3 different aspects you can take in just with a piece of chocolate. So I hope this has helped you, as I said, bring a little bit of mindfulness into your busy Christmas festive time, and I wish you all a wonderful Christmas, a wonderful festive season, a wonderful new year from Connected Kids. Thank you so much to everyone for participating in our workshops, in our reading our books, teaching your children meditation and mindfulness from toddlers to teens, because when we do this together collectively, we'll make such a difference to the world around us. So thank you from putting my piece of chocolate down. Thank you from my heart to yours. Namaste. I'm going to enjoy my chocolate now.